Welcome to the Honest Health Podcast with your host, Jeffrey Burke. Honest Health brings you the brightest minds in the natural products industry, as well as athletes and entertainers. Jeff will keep you entertained and informed while educating on how to be successful on your healthy journeys. Now, here's your host, Jeffrey Burke.
Hello, and welcome back to the Honest Health Podcast. My name is Jeffrey Burke. I'm so glad you're here. I thought today what I would do is kind of do a quick podcast, but touch on some things that I think are important. Thankfulness throughout the year, upcoming events, what's coming in 2025, and maybe some, little hints and treasures that might just make getting through the holiday season a little bit healthier. First of all, I want to thank everybody that has come on board with my new podcast. After ending my radio show after 42 years, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I love being able to bring information and education to my listeners. And like I said, when you do it for over 4 decades, thousands and thousands of shows, it becomes a big part of you. So because things have changed, terrestrial radio has changed a lot, where you had to actually be sitting in front of your radio to listen, and podcasting has really kind of taken over because it gives people the availability of being able to listen when they want to listen on their time schedule. So I've really kind of enjoyed the transition to this platform, and I thank everyone. I do want to remind everybody that if you go to my webpage, drjeffreyburke.com, and you tap on the Honest Health logo, it'll take you to Spotify. And Spotify is where you can listen to the audio version of all of the podcasts. You can also tap on the YouTube logo and it'll take you to YouTube. Just tap on videos and you can watch any of the interviews. And I've had some amazing guests on. I'm using one of the most powerful things out there, guilt, with all of my past guests to get them to come on my podcast, because I think they had plenty to say before, and I think they have even more to say today. My podcast is always, like my radio shows in the past, always focused on the natural products industry, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I'm kind of opening up the door a little bit. I want to talk with athletes, I want to talk with entertainers, I want to talk with visible people in the know, and probably not for the reason that you think. I mean, I love what people do and they're entertaining and their sports and all that. That's all wonderful. But you can hear about that on things like ESPN and stuff like that. What I want to talk to them about is how they keep themselves healthy, what they do behind the scenes, what they do to be able to do what they do, their mental health, their energy, their diet, how they deal with everything from paparazzi to being on the road with or without their families. And what do they do in their downtime? I want to know that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of us do. We want to talk more with our people that we really like, that we put on platforms, that we follow. I think it's important. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm also going to be doing some of the things I did in the past. I'm going to start inviting different companies to come on and talk about their products, hopefully interviewing their formulators, their educators, their company founders, and letting everyone know, about what's available to them out there. And then what I'll do is I'll put their logo on my webpage, and you'll be able to tap on it and then go directly to their webpage, which will be kind of great, and you'll be able to learn more. But I want information. To me, it's about information and education. And I think we really, really need to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can. And that's where I want to take this. Also, this was a year of change for me. I left a job that I really, really liked and had been doing for quite a while. And I was able to embark on a career for something that I'm extremely passionate about and that I absolutely love. And it's just been such a blessing. I'm working with Rick Scalzo, who was the original founder of Gaia Herbs. Rick bought an amazing farm down in Costa Rica, and the new name of the company is called Kokora, or Kokora Life. And these are amazing regenerative organic certified herbs. We've launched 5 powders so far that are amazing Ayurvedic powders, and they're very potent. And we have a lot of vegan capsule formulas coming next year, both mushroom formulas, individual regenerative organic certified or rock certified herbs, and we're going to have blends and combinations. And then we have a women's line, a gut line, an immune line coming later in the year. These are going to be not only high quality products, but it's a company that's looking behind the scenes, not just for making high quality products, following organic standards, but taking it to the next level, which is basically, looking at the soil. We are very close to not having much topsoil on this planet. Our insect populations are down, our bird populations are down. And my friends say to me all the time, they go, are you a tree hugger? And I'm like, well, no, but I know that we need to do something with our soil. I need to give something back, because we're borrowing the planet from the kids and their kids moving forward. So if we're able to do things like do a regenerative agriculture where we're not tilling and we're using cover crops and no pesticides, no chemicals, and rotating everything and growing the healthiest things we can, it's going to be beautiful, not only for the potency of the products, but for what we're leaving behind in the soil for the next year, the next decade, the next century. And I think that's amazing. And I'm able to, I wanted something at this point in my life. I'm older, I've been around for a long time. I wanted something I could sink my teeth into. And I think this is going to be great because it's not just going to be educating about this beautiful line of products from Kokora and our philosophy behind it and living a regenerative life. It's also going to be about, protecting the soil. When you grow regeneratively and use regenerative agriculture, you grow bigger yields of products, which means more fruits, more vegetables, more herbs, bigger crops, which is going to be beneficial around the world. We need to have as many agricultural farms start switching over to regenerative agricultural methods because it just makes good sense. So we're going to be on that bandwagon as well, because I think it's important that people realize not only just the passion behind it, but the philosophy and the understanding that we have to do something. We need to do something that's going to make a difference today and moving forward, for the environment, for the soil, for the future of the people here now and the people that are not even here yet. So if we can do things in that area, I think it's going to make a dramatic difference. So big things coming up next year. The podcast is going to be expanding to quite a few more episodes per week, hopefully looking at other platforms to start putting it on as well. Amazing guests coming up. You're going to be amazed at the people I've got coming on. It's going to be so much fun. And then this amazing journey with Kokora, which I'm absolutely loving. Do me a favor. Follow me on social media. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. And also, when you go to my webpage, and then you go to like Spotify and YouTube, that it's kind of new for me because I didn't have this platform before. Like and follow and subscribe and do all that stuff so you stay in touch and you know what's happening. And as we're bringing you information as it's happening, and not just with just Kokora, but what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the world as it has to do with our health and well-being, we're going to make sure that we bring that to you as well. One thing to look forward to is, with all the years of research that Rick Scalzo has had, we're doing a segment every month on one herb of the month. In November, we did turmeric. We're going to do ashwagandha this month, and then we're going to switch over to another one every single month. These segments are like going to school. You actually can listen, and this is great for both consumer and retailer. You can listen to this. It's like taking a class in that herb. So when you walk away, you're going to have a really good understanding of that herb, with the positive, honest, true to form information. And then he'll also incorporate in some of the benefits of growing things regeneratively, why they're more potent, why you get more bang for your buck, why they're stronger, why the active ingredients are stronger. So we're going to do one of those every month until we get through about 15 or 16 different herbs. And it's going to be a really good series. So I hope that you will, take the time to tune into those. The great thing about podcasts is you can listen when it's convenient for you. And if you hear something you like, you can send someone there to listen. You could say, oh my goodness, he's talking about you, or that was perfect. That's exactly what we were talking about. And that's been the whole idea. So coming from radio and going through all the stages of radio as it grew, now to podcasting, it's been a really fun transition. I was a little nervous about it because it's different. It's not really familiar for me, but I have to tell you, I'm really, really enjoying it. I will be traveling all over the country throughout the year. I'll be on the road a lot. So, of course, I'll be doing a lot of recording when I'm home here in my studio and, getting as much recording done as I can. I record evenings and weekends and try to make it as convenient as I can for my guests. And I think it's going to be a really powerful year. So here we are. It's the end of the year. Did you get everything done that you wanted to this year? I think I did. I mean, there's always more things, that we could do, lose a couple pounds. Were we as good with our exercise? Probably not. But, I learned a couple years ago, and I think it's more of a blessing. I have a lot of friends that we lost very early in their lives, and they're not here. So sometimes a lot of the things we dwell on and a lot of the things that we look at that we think are really, really important, we find sooner or later that they're not as important as we thought. Just being here and being visible and, being loving and being supportive and, and taking care of yourself. These are really important things. And I think sometimes we forget, because I think we get locked into our jobs and our careers, and we push ourselves so far back on the back burner that we lose our focus on ourselves, and all of a sudden there's a magnitude of problems going on, and then we have to start focusing on those as well. So I hope that next year, when you're sitting down to kind of lay out your schedule for next year, make sure that you are at the top of the list, because if you are not filling your cup, you don't have anything to pour from. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to have anything to give anyone else. And if you're one of those people, I know, because I'm one of those people that prioritize my friends, my family, my listeners, all the people around that are around me all the time, I always put them in front. But I've learned over maybe the last 10 years that I have to prioritize me. Otherwise, I'm going to crash and burn. And I don't want to do that. I need to be at my best that I can be so that I can do what I do and do it successfully. And it's really, really important to be able to do that. So a helpful hint would be when you set your I guess, resolution or your goals for next year, make it easy. Just be better to yourself next year than you were this year. Take a little bit more time for you. Take one day a week when you have a couple hours that you do something for you. You go to the library, you go shopping, you go to the beach, you go for a hike, you just take the time to do something just for you. Eat a little better, be a little bit more active, get a little bit more regular sleep, be a little bit more religious with your supplements. I think that's really, really important. And as we're eating now, we are definitely there in that time. Make sure that you're bringing in your digestive enzymes and your probiotics and to get the most benefit. And I think that's something we need to do year round, because there's so many people out there who have either destroyed, it's either age or it could be side effects of medication or just terrible diet. But we have really harmed our digestive systems. So I'm one of those people, I take an enzyme and a probiotic with every meal. The reason I do it is because I need to, because I know my weaknesses are my gut. And if I don't support it, I'm not going to get the benefit from either the food that I'm consuming or the supplements that I'm using. So I help it out, and it really does make a difference. I don't want to cover up the problem and put a blanket over the fire like they do with so many of those acid proton pump inhibitors that just make the symptoms go away and everybody thinks they're healed and everything's gone. Well, no, you put a blanket over it. You wait till a year down the road, and even though it says on the bottle to use for 2 weeks, people stay on these products for years at a time, and then maybe their doctor takes them off of it, and all of a sudden they realize how much worse they are now once they stop taking that cover-up blanket medicine. We need to support our digestive systems, and during the holidays when we're eating all kinds of foods that we love, I say eat it, enjoy it, savor it, make memories, share time with your family and your friends. That's what the holidays are all about. But just be better to yourself as we're winding down and going into the new year. We become a very excessive world, and I think we just need to back it up a little bit. I'm not saying cutting things out completely. I just think we need to have a little bit more balance. And I think that really does make a difference, and lay out your platform for next year, but make everything achievable. And set tiny little goals. With me, I'm a list person. I like nothing better than making a list and then crossing things off when I do them. I'm so ADD about it that I'll add something else to the list just so I can cross it off because I already did it. For me, that really is important. Make sure you're drinking water. We have a terrible problem out here. We drink when we're thirsty in the summer when it's hot. And then during the winter months, we have an increase in urinary tract and bladder infections and kidney infections. People aren't drinking their water and they're just like, I'm not thirsty. Drink it anyway. It's amazing to be able to do that. Incorporate smoothies into your breakfast routine. A smoothie to me is like a kitchen sink of getting things out of the way and checking them off my list. I love it. I will throw a beverage in there and fruit, and I'll throw chia seeds and raw flax. I'll throw my Nuka-Cola powders in there, which I love, granola, nuts, greens, vegetables. I throw it all in there. Fish oil, flaxseed oil, all this stuff, coconut oil. Why? Because I can get a whole bunch of stuff out of the way before I even leave the house in the morning. Even when I travel, I bring powders and things that I can add to a shaker cup and start my day off in a hotel, no matter where I am. because it starts your day off on the right foot with nutrition and not just fast food, junk food, or just the strongest cup of coffee you can drink. I don't have a problem with coffee. It's perfectly fine. Just make sure you're getting some nutrition in there along the way. And don't forget to organize your sleep. You need sleep. We have got to charge our batteries. Every day we get up in the morning and we pick up our phones and we do our phone calls during the day. We charged our phone all night long. It's all ready to go. But what if you're not plugging yourself in? What if you're not recharging your batteries? You know how it feels when you get up in the morning and it's a day of interviews and phone calls and you forgot to plug your phone in and it's dead? All day long, you're chasing electricity and plugs and backup chargers, just trying to keep a charge. It's the same thing we do with our bodies, but we do it with sugar and caffeine just to kind of caffeinate our body, energize our body to give us what we need during the day. Better sleep, better quality sleep can make a dramatic difference. Plug in and recharge. And the other thing is if you're having trouble sleeping, it doesn't mean you need to run right to a pharmaceutical drug. There are beautiful formulas that are on the market in this industry that can knock you out, help you relax, help you sleep, help you drool on your pillow and wake up wonderfully balanced in the morning and be energetic. When was the last time you woke up and had one of those full body stretches and you just knew that you had a great night's rest? Probably been a while. And I was guilty for a while. And then I just decided it didn't make any sense not to use what Mother Nature has given us. And I'll take something to help me get the most out of my sleep every night. And I may need it that night. Maybe I don't need it that night, but it's there in case I do. So keep in mind, kind of sum things up, enzymes and probiotics, really important all year long, but during the holidays, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, make sure you're getting a good night's sleep, make sure you're managing your stress, and looking for all the wonderful things I've got coming my way next year that I get to share with you. Hopefully I'll be coming to an area near you. And if I'm doing lectures or consumer lectures, maybe you can come out and see me. I'll keep myself posted on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook so you know where I'm going to be. And I'll make sure that if we're out there that we get a chance to talk and see each other in person, maybe meet in person for the first time. I'd love to be able to do that. And I hope that you'll take the time to keep coming into the podcast because I'm telling you, it's a great way to get the best, most honest information, and that's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to be able to have a resource, a place to go to get the best information, the most up-to-date information from the best minds in the industry and from other industries as well. Someone asked me the other day, they said, athletes and entertainers, that's kind of different. And I said, look, everybody has something to say and everybody has something to share. So why not bring them in and let's learn from them as well? You may get your best tip from an athlete or from an entertainer, and you're just like, I never thought of that. Everybody has something to share and to pass on. And I want to make sure that you have all the tools in front of you to make the decisions that you get to make on getting healthy, being healthy, and staying healthy. So for me, Dr. Jeffrey Burke, here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Honest Health Podcast, I want to thank you all so much for being a part of my life. Many of you have been listening to me for decades. I heard from someone the other day, they actually listened to me for well over 30 years, and now they're listening to the podcast. And it was funny. They said they grew up with my radio show, and their mother, their grandmother, and their great-grandmother all listened to the show. So I think we're doing something right. And I just want to continue to make sure that all the information you need, all the tools that you need are in front of you so that you're not having to guess your way through things, that you have things that are proven and tried and true and studied and, all this information that's right in front of you. We just need to know which direction to look in. And last but not least, check in on your friends. Mental health has become a really terrible situation. I did a podcast last week with Zach Williams, Robin Williams' son, and we talked about mental health and how things have changed and how sometimes just taking the time to text somebody or give them a phone call or making an extra plate and dropping it off at their house and doing a check-in, call with them to see how they're doing. Most people will not reach out. They don't want to bother anyone. So bother them. Check in on them. Let them know that they're loved, they're appreciated, that they have an ear or a shoulder. They're not alone, because that could be the absolutely crucial part of the puzzle that is life-saving and, makes the difference in their world moving forward. So I hope that you'll take the time to enjoy your holiday. I look forward to talking to you next year and bringing you amazing guests And hopefully I'll see you on the road when I'm traveling with Kokora. But thank you, everyone, for not just today and not just this past year, but for the years and years of amazing relationships, and for the friendships, and for all the things that I've been able to learn from these amazing, amazing individuals, and from my listeners as well. I've learned so much from my listeners, things that I never even thought of, and I get these aha moments because they're telling me things, and then I get to share that wonderful information. So to all my friends, all my family, everyone I've met, and everyone I haven't met so far, I thank you so much. Have an incredible holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. God bless.
Stay tuned for more information from the Honest Health Podcast with Jeffrey Burke. And make sure to check back often for interviews and conversations from the guests we all want to hear from. I'm John the Announcer. Thanks for listening.